Best games for Meta Quest 2 and 3. Breachers. Breachers is a virtual reality video game that has captured the attention of the gaming community due to its focus on tactical multiplayer combat, similar in style to games like Rainbow Six Siege. Breachers falls into the tactical first-person shooter genre, where two teams, attackers and defenders, face off in confined maps with the objective of completing a series of missions, typically disarming a bomb or protecting key areas. It offers an immersive, strategic, and fast-paced experience that, despite some graphical limitations, manages to keep players hooked. The combination of action and tactics, along with natural interaction in VR, makes it a unique game in its genre. The Breachers player community is quite active, ensuring that you can easily find matches. Additionally, the game fosters a competitive and tense atmosphere, where quick thinking and ingenuity can make all the difference. It's an ideal title for those who enjoy strategic planning and teamwork, while also offering a good representation of what virtual reality can achieve in the competitive shooter genre. Swarm 2. Swarm 2 is an action-packed virtual reality shooter with movement mechanics reminiscent of Spider-Man, but with guns. This sequel introduces several new features compared to its predecessor, such as the inclusion of roguelike elements that enhance the gameplay. Throughout its 18 levels, players must collect crystals called shards, which allow for skill upgrades after each match. The combat takes place in large, open environments. Graphically, Swarm 2 doesn't show drastic improvements compared to the first game, but it remains visually appealing with detailed environments and a dynamic soundtrack that amplifies the action. However, a weak point noted by players is the lack of variety in bosses, as the 3 boss fights focus on similar giant robots, reducing diversity in that aspect. In addition to the campaign mode, the game includes extra modes like free roam and arcade, allowing players to explore or compete on individual maps to achieve the best scores. These extras help keep the experience fresh and offer constant challenges. It's definitely a great option for a few hours of entertainment. Underdogs. Underdogs is a combat and action game designed specifically for virtual reality on Meta Quest. Developed by Giant Scam Industries, the game puts you in control of a colossal combat robot in a futuristic setting where mechanized gladiators fight for supremacy in a brutal championship. The core of the game revolves around dynamic battles where you directly control a mecha in arena combat. Each fight feels unique thanks to the combination of immersive VR controls and the strategic design of the game mechanics. You use the Meta Quest controllers to operate the robot's cockpit, which adds a unique layer of immersion. It's honestly mind-blowing. It's a solid game for the Meta Quest platform, perfect for those seeking an intense and strategic combat experience in VR. Its combination of fast-paced action, immersive controls, and robot battles makes it an appealing option for fans of mechas and virtual reality games. Although its narrative may not be its strongest point, the gameplay and immersive experience more than make up for it, offering hours of fun on the futuristic battlefield. Hubris. This is a virtual reality game developed by Cyborn, available for Meta Quest devices and other VR platforms. One of the most impressive aspects of Hubris is its visual design. Despite the hardware limitations of the Meta Quest, the game manages to deliver detailed environments and futuristic landscapes that immerse the player in a vibrant alien world. The narrative of Hubris is quite intriguing and is set in a science fiction universe where the player is a recruit on a mission to rescue a key agent from the OOO faction. As the player progresses, they uncover more about the alien world and the mysteries surrounding it. While the story isn't entirely groundbreaking, it is well constructed and keeps the player engaged. Hubris is an excellent example of what a virtual reality game can offer in terms of immersion, action, and exploration. The graphics and level design are impressive for a device like the Meta Quest, and the gameplay combines combat, exploration, and puzzles in an entertaining way. For VR enthusiasts looking for an action-packed and exploration-rich experience, Hubris is a fantastic choice. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a virtual reality video game developed by Skydance Interactive based on the popular comic and TV series universe of The Walking Dead. This title has earned a strong reputation in the VR community, and its Meta Quest version has been highly praised. The game is set in New Orleans after a zombie apocalypse. The city, plunged into chaos, is divided between warring factions, and the player takes on the role of the Tourist, a survivor who must face the zombie threat while dealing with human conflict conflicts in the fight for survival. On Meta Quest, the game strikes a remarkable balance between performance and graphical quality. While it's inevitable that the graphics don't quite reach the level of the PC or PlayStation VR versions, the Quest version manages to capture the essence of the post-apocalyptic setting. The lighting, textures, and effects are detailed enough to keep you immersed. Despite the graphical limitations on Meta Quest, the gameplay and immersion more than make up for any visual shortcomings, making this title a must-buy for genre lovers and users of the platform. Assassin's Creed Nexus. A highly anticipated title, as it is the first game in the series designed specifically for virtual reality, available for Meta Quest devices. This game offers an immersive experience that fully leverages VR's capabilities, allowing players to truly feel what it's like to be an assassin in a three-dimensional immersive environment. The game doesn't focus on a single character, but allows players to take on the role of three iconic assassins from the franchise: Ezio Auditore, Cassandra, and Connor Kenway, each with their own storyline and setting in different historical periods. This decision not only appeals to fans of the previous titles, but also offers variety in terms of missions, environments, and combat styles. It's an exciting addition to the franchise, taking the assassin experience to a new level of immersion thanks to virtual reality. Despite the technical limitations of VR devices, particularly in terms of graphics, the game delivers a unique and satisfying experience for fans of the series. With a narrative that spans different eras and iconic protagonists, innovative gameplay, and mechanics adapted to virtual reality, I'm a fan of the Assassin's Creed saga, so I definitely recommend it. Resident Evil 4 VR. Resident Evil 4 is a survival horror classic that revolutionized the genre when it was released in 2005. The VR version for Meta Quest offers a complete reimagining of the game, adapting its iconic gameplay to an immersive first-person experience. While Resident Evil 4 VR retains the artistic design of the original game, the graphics have been optimized for Meta Quest. Although they don't reach the visual fidelity of modern games, the work done to adapt the environments and characters to VR is remarkable. The dark and oppressive atmosphere of the original game remains intact, and the immersion provided by virtual reality amplifies the level of terror. Although it's not a full remake, the immersion it offers makes it a unique experience for fans of the series and VR enthusiasts alike. It retains the essence of what made Resident Evil 4 great, but adds an extra layer of immersion and tension that only VR can deliver. It is, without a doubt, one of the must-have titles for any Meta Quest owner. Among Us VR. This is an adaptation of the popular social deduction game Among Us, developed by Innersloth and released for the Meta Quest virtual reality platform. This game transforms the original 2D experience into an immersive and exciting 3D adventure, which radically changes how players interact with each other and the environment. Communication and teamwork remain crucial, but VR adds new dimensions to the game, allowing you to look directly at other players, heightening the sense of paranoia when you suspect someone. Additionally, performing tasks in VR is much more interactive, as you need to physically move to complete certain actions, like connecting wires or emptying the trash. Among Us VR is an excellent adaptation of the original game. The transition to virtual reality adds a new layer of tension and immersion that elevates the social deduction experience to a whole new level. While it has a few areas to refine, such as the amount of content and adaptation for less experienced VR players, it remains a highly recommended option for those looking for a fun and unique experience on the Meta Quest. Dungeons of Eternity. This is a virtual reality game exclusive to Meta Quest that combines classic dungeon exploration mechanics with the immersion of virtual reality. Initially, many didn't have high expectations for it, but time has proven the creators right, as it's now a top-selling title. Dungeons of Eternity focuses on the experience of exploration and combat within procedurally generated dungeons, meaning each playthrough is different. Using motion controls, you can wield swords, shields, and other objects with a high degree of control over attacks, blocking, and movement. The game also offers the ability to use magic, adding a layer of strategy by allowing players to combine magical and physical attacks. Additionally, there's a good variety of enemies, each with unique attack patterns that require different strategies to defeat. While the game excels in its focus on tactical combat and cooperative play, and there are some areas like AI or narrative that could be improved, it delivers an immersive and entertaining experience, especially when playing with friends. In summary, while it doesn't revolutionize the genre, it offers a solid and enjoyable dungeon exploring experience in VR. Vader Immortal. Vader Immortal is a 3-episode virtual reality series developed by ILMXLab that offers an immersive experience in the Star Wars universe, specifically centered around the iconic villain Darth Vader. Designed for virtual reality devices like Meta Quest, this game stands out for its cinematic narrative, interactive gameplay, and its ability to transport players to a galaxy far, far away. The gameplay combines elements of exploration, puzzle solving, and lightsaber combat. One of the most exciting aspects is the ability to wield a lightsaber and use the Force, allowing players to live out the fantasy of being a Jedi or Sith. Although its length is short and the combat could benefit from more depth, the narrative, visual quality, and the ability to wield a lightsaber and use the Force make it well worth playing. For Star Wars fans and those interested in virtual reality, this is exactly what you're looking for. I mean, you get to wield a lightsaber and use the Force. What more could you want? The Light Brigade. This first-person shooter with roguelike elements offers an experience that combines tactical combat mechanics with a dark, atmospheric graphics style, immersing the player in a post-apocalyptic world. The artistic design of the Light Brigade is another one of its strong points. It features a gloomy, immersive atmosphere, where the player ventures through dark ruins, foggy forests, and desolate landscapes. The game's aesthetics have a sense of mystery and desolation reminiscent of titles like Dark Souls, focusing on the duality between light and darkness. This contrast is also reflected in the story and narrative, where the player is part of a sacred order fighting to bring light back to a world consumed by darkness. Every death is a lesson. As a roguelike, the difficulty is high, and the player will have to replay missions many times to progress. However, the game rewards persistence, as each attempt allows the player to improve their skills and unlock new weapons and equipment. As you advance, permanent upgrades are obtained, slightly easing the difficulty curve, though the game always remains a challenge. It's not an easy game, but for those who enjoy challenges and the replayability offered by roguelikes, this title provides a rewarding and deeply immersive experience. While its difficulty might be frustrating for some, the satisfaction of improving and progressing is immense. I guarantee it. Asgard's Wrath 2. Asgard's Wrath 2 is one of the most ambitious titles released for the MetaQuest virtual reality platform. Developed by Sanzaru Games, this game is a direct sequel to the acclaimed Asgard's Wrath, initially launched on PC, but has been specifically designed for MetaQuest 2 and MetaQuest 3 to take full advantage of portable virtual reality power. The main plot focuses on battling Loki and his schemes to destabilize the realms. The environments and characters are filled with references to mythology, but also offer an original interpretation, keeping both Nordic Saga enthusiasts and those less familiar with them engaged. Asgard's Wrath 2 is an impressive achievement in portable virtual reality. It delivers an epic gameplay experience that combines action, exploration, and a rich narrative set in the fascinating world of Norse mythology. While it has some limitations due to the MetaQuest hardware, it manages to exceed expectations with its immersive gameplay, optimized graphics, and a vast world to explore. It is undoubtedly one of the must-have titles for virtual reality fans looking for a long-lasting, high-quality adventure. Well, these are, in my opinion, the best titles right now. Some are new releases, while others have been around for a while. Maybe some of you will mention other titles that I haven't included, but I guarantee that no one will deny these games are must-haves if you own a MetaQuest. So with that, I'll say goodbye and let the games begin.